Number 2. A few weeks ago, I had to fly out to a small town I had never been to in order to look at a place to live. My boyfriend flew with me, and before the trip I researched all sorts of apartments on Craigslist and set up a bunch of appointments. Our first appointment was in the afternoon, in this sort of remote residential area. The landlord sounded fine over email and asked me to call him an hour before the appointment to confirm that I was coming. I called, he didn't answer. So my boyfriend and I started walking to the house and just hoped that he would show up. Maybe 10 minutes before the appointment, he called me.
"Are you coming?"
he asked. He sounded like an older man and had this very strange, slow way of talking, but I just thought that he was older. Yes, we're in front of the house now." He got extremely upset.
"We?"
"Oh, yes, my boyfriend's with me."
"You never told me you had a boyfriend. You never said that."
It had never crossed my mind to have to tell him this information. Since my boyfriend would not be coming to live with me, he was just helping me to look for apartments on the trip. I told the man so, and after a very long pause, he said,
"I'm sorry, it's just sometimes people don't tell me when they're married, and it surprises me. I'll see you soon."
And then he hung up. I told my boyfriend about what the man had said, and he was immediately weirded out. He wanted to leave, but there were slim pickings in the terms of real estate at this point, so I stupidly said that we had to stay, in case this was a place where I could stay. As we're discussing it, we see a man leave the house we're going to view. This man was young and extremely sketchy looking. Greasy hair, furtive eyes. He took one look at us and ran out of the house to his car and pulled away from the curb with a screech. Okay, so now we're really weirded out. But this isn't enough for us to bawl just yet, and as we look at each other wondering what to do, the landlord arrives. He's in his 50s, very tall and very strong looking. His eyes are completely blank and empty of warmth or emotion. He slowly walks up to us and says,
"I'd shake your hands, but mine are dirty."
"What from?" my boyfriend asks.
"Work,"
is the flat reply. He asks a lot of questions about me, completely ignoring my boyfriend. The entire time he stares into my eyes without blinking as well. He asks what I'm going to school for, what are the places I'm considering for living, and is my boyfriend moving to this town too? I try to give him answers that are as vague as possible. Meanwhile, my boyfriend asks the landlord questions of the same kind, which he refuses to answer. Then he says, out of nowhere,
"Let me show you the basement."
At this point, I should have noped it out of there, but I didn't. I kept thinking this was an eccentric old man from a small town, we're city folk, and that we were just feeling paranoid. My boyfriend, on the other hand, wanted out of there, but he followed us as the man led us back to the house, away from the street, to this sort of detached shed. He opened the door and we saw that there were stairs leading down into utter darkness. He flipped the switch at the top of the stairs and the light didn't come on. Normally the responses for this is, "Oh shit, the lights are out," or something like that. But he just said, and slowly walked down into the darkness. And then he just stood there, without moving, in the dark and said,
"Aren't you coming?"
"There's nothing to see if the light's out," says my boyfriend. The landlord just stands there for a long time, then slowly walks up the stairs and closes the basement door without saying anything. He took us into the house. Weird and increasingly creepy things ensued though. The front door, the only exit to the house, locked automatically. And when my boyfriend tried to fiddle with it, the man got really upset and told him to leave it alone. The man kept trying to box us into small rooms, and according to my boyfriend, it kept reaching his hands into his pocket, only to take them out when he caught us looking. On Craigslist and in person, the man claimed that there was a grad student already living in the house, but the evidence of that seemed arranged. There were neat piles of generic textbooks on the table, but not other things a 20-something might read. There was a bowl of fruit on the table, but no other food in the fridge or pantry, or utensils. There were maybe 3 t-shirts in the closet. This supposed grad student wasn't out of town, but the landlord couldn't say what school he went to or how long he'd been renting the house. Finally, the man had showed us every single room in this house but one. This one he refused to open, claiming it was just the attic and we didn't need to see anything up there. He gave us several reasons when we inquired. It was unfinished, there was furniture up there, it would smell bad. This last one I believed, because standing near the door, it smelled terrible. Finally, we made our excuses and bolted out of there. The man walked us out, pretended to go to his car to leave, and when we thought he had turned the corner, slowly, he sauntered back to the house. My boyfriend, fixated on the idea that there was something wrong with this guy, Googled the man that night. We found out 3 things: that he was a pillar of the community, known by a lot of townspeople, that there was no evidence of him owning or managing a real estate company, as he claimed on Craigslist, and that he had listed his home address as the very house we had been touring, the house where the grad student lived. Number 1. I live in a small village in the very north of Scotland, so large shops and resources are a far distance. For that reason, I usually rely on internet shopping to get my needs. I needed to buy a backpack for when I left for university, one better than the one I already had. So I turned to Craigslist as I normally do. As a student, I prefer to go for the cheap option. Craigslist usually provides that. After looking for a short while, I came across a really good looking bag at only £15. I thought this was an absolute steal, so I phoned the seller. Immediately, what struck me was the guy's accent. It was obvious he wasn't Scottish, or even from the UK. He sounded Polish or something, I'm still not sure. He said he was from Glasgow. That's at least 5 hours by car from where I live, but when I told him the area I was from, he reluctantly offered to come to my house to give me it. This all seemed strange, being that the sale was only for £15. Nonetheless, I foolishly gave him my address. He said he'd drop by later on that day. Skipping forward about 7 hours to about 10 PM, I was thinking that he wasn't going to come, but at around 10:20, there was a chap at the door. Surprised that it was so late, I looked out the window, round to the front door, and sure enough, it was a young guy standing with a backpack in his hand. Slightly relieved that it wasn't a robber, I went to the door and opened up. It was the guy on the phone for sure. The accent confirmed it. He said,
"Hey, here it is."
I smiled and took out my wallet. I took out £30 because of the trouble he had gone to get here and because of the condition of the bag. He smiled and opened his arms as if he wanted a hug. Being a gay guy, I rarely turned down a hug and just assumed it was a cultural thing, so I hugged him and he left. I was still confused that he came all this way just for £15, but I didn't find it overly strange. Boy, was I wrong though. At around midnight, I was finishing another episode of 24 and was ready to go to bed. From outside the house, I heard a car door shut, which was really weird for this time of night in my area. The nearest house is like a quarter mile away, and I rarely see the people that live there. I paused the TV and went over to the window to see who it was. I recognized the car as being the green sedan that the guy had, but he wasn't there. No one was. It was at that point when I heard the back gate opening. I nearly shit myself. I ran quietly to the kitchen where the back door is, staying low down the way there to avoid whoever it was seeing me from the kitchen window. I usually don't lock both doors till I go to bed, so both were still unlocked. I grabbed the keys from the counter and quickly locked the door. As I did, I got a fright at the security light turning on in the back garden. It's a motion sensor that turns it on. I looked up to see that it was him again. He had a creepy smile on his face, no teeth showing, just a smile. I stood up and shouted,
"Whoa dude, what the fuck are you doing back here?"
He said nothing, and just smiled, looking directly at me. I found myself just staring at him until the situation actually kicked in, and I took the keys from the back door and then bolted it to the front door to lock it. About halfway to the front door, I heard a window smash in the kitchen. My stomach ached at that fact that he's probably making his way into the house. I made a turn to go up the stairs towards the toilet so I could lock myself in there. When in the toilet, I heard him stumbling and broken glass falling to the floor. He was in my house. I pulled my phone out of my pocket and quickly dialed 999 and told them of the situation as fast as I could, and they said they'll get officers out there to me as fast as possible. The police station was just up from the village, so I knew someone would get there pretty quickly. The operator asked me to stay on the phone until someone arrived. I was focused on the guy's footsteps, which would slow down and speed up every so often. He eventually walked upstairs and tried to open the bathroom door. When he realized it was locked, he said,
I know you're in there, Cameron."
Hearing him say my name made my stomach churn. I screamed, "The police are coming! Just back the fuck off, man!" After saying that, he started to kick the door. I backed up against it with more strength than I knew I had. Then, in the distance, I heard the sirens and the blue lights reflecting from the bathroom windows. He continued to kick the door, but then I heard the car doors outside open and fast footsteps. I heard the front door open, and then,
"Police officer with a taser. Drop the knife."
Again, I felt sick knowing he had a knife. It sounded as if he started running back downstairs. Then I heard,
"Taser, taser, taser,"
and the guy screaming, then a thump. After he came through, they officially arrested him for attempted murder and trespassing. I have pressed charges, but the fact is he won't get any more than 7 months in jail. After that, he'll be free to come right back to me. I am now trying to sell my house to get out of here as fast as I possibly can. G'day mates, it's Busta here. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video guys. A lot of you guys requested a second Craigslist video, and so I thought I'd deliver this one today. I just wanted to apologise for the lack of interaction over the weekend as well guys. I actually had something come up with YouTube and I was trying to sort it all out. If you've been following me on my social media, you'll know that I received a community infringement strike on my 6 Scary Police Stories video. The infringement was for alleged sexual content, which of course there was nothing on that video. The strike was lifted guys, which is good news, but it did cause me a lot of stress and frustration as I had to work through it. YouTube were actually reasonably good, which was surprising to me, and I managed to get into contact with someone directly and sorted it all out. But it certainly put a bad taste in my mouth knowing that someone on YouTube managed to slap me with a strike for nothing. But either way guys, it's all fixed and I can get back to making content for you guys and interacting with you all again, which I just love to do. Also guys, thank you to everyone who encouraged me and supported me through this time. It was really appreciated to have so many people around just I guess encouraging me and really backing me to challenge the infringement. And you know, it just highlights once again how awesome the community really is here and how many decent people there are. As always, don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter if you want updates throughout the week. It would be awesome if you could leave a like, share the video with your friends, comment below and to subscribe if you're new. Thanks again for all of your support guys, it's really appreciated and I'll see you mates in the next one.